Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank the Commissioner for being here today. I chaired the Florida Chamber. We had 30,000 businesses in the Federation across Florida. One of the biggest issues, and I mentioned this to you a little bit earlier, is dispute resolution. And I'm talking about companies with 50 employees or less. The cost of hiring accountants, and maybe you have to get an attorney and go through that whole process, is very time consuming. Many times we'll put them out of business, some of them. But I think it's got a little bit better. But what's your mindset of where we're at in terms of, it seems like we want to get a fair deal for the IRS, for the country, but then resolve as many of these disputes as we can. Some of them claim they're out there a year, 6 months, 8 months. It ties up their energy, their time, and their enterprise. And you mentioned that, you know, the big corporations, one thing, but small business and individuals as well. But I'm just focused right now on small business.
Yeah, I really appreciate the question, Congressman. I haven't mentioned it yet, but one of the things that guides me in the job is the Taxpayer Bill of Rights. I have it framed above my desk. I have it with me today. It's kind of like some people carry around their pocket constitution. I carry around the Taxpayer Bill of Rights because it's so important that in everything we do, we're guided by it. And one of those rights is the right to speedily resolve your issues. And I want to make the right investments so that we are doing that. And that's a multi-pronged set of solutions. It's, for example, having clear notices, clear guidance. So if the law is complicated, the IRS is translating it clearly so we never get to a dispute. It's doing outreach to small businesses with training and webinars. We're investing to what are your questions and how can we help you? And then it's hiring more people and working to make sure that there is no dispute resolution that's taking too long.
I only got a few minutes. I got a couple of things I want to get through. Identity theft. It was
Yes.
a huge issue. Again, it seems like it's organized groups and stuff are still out there. Where are we at with identity theft now? Because I had a lot of people in our region in Florida where their identity was stolen. The tax returns were filed on behalf of the thief or whatever, or some organized group. What's your sense of where that's at?
Well, it's critical, and it's a top priority. I mentioned top 3 things we want to do under the Inflation Reduction Act, and one is prevent people from being victimized. And this is a mixed story. I wish it was all good. We've made significant progress in preventing identity theft. Working with private sector partners in what we call our Security Summit, we now prevent 98% of identity theft attacks, if you will. But in the case where there is a victim, as was recently pointed out by a taxpayer advocate report, we are not resolving those issues quick enough. And so it's a priority going forward that not only to continue our strong performance in preventing identity theft, but also when it happens and there's a victim, to raise our game and make sure that we're providing that victim assistance in a much more robust way.
Yeah, let me ask you one other thing on in terms of customer service. I know you touched on that, just talking to accountants and things locally, and it does seem like, I want to give you a little credit, it seems like things have got a little bit better, but still, they're on the phone for over an hour, they're aggravated. You know, being someone that's in business, you want to take care of those folks as quickly as you can, at least in terms of answering the phone, get their questions answered. And you touched on it in your early testimony, but where's your sense of where we're going to get to a point where we can answer the phone quicker and try to get them a little bit more help from a quicker stance?
So we're on our main phone line, which is where most of the volume comes, we're at an 85% level of service, but there's more to do. There are other phone lines that we need to continue to work on and improve. And let me give you an important example of what we're doing. I don't ever want to hear about someone waiting on the phone for an hour. That is heartbreaking, frustrating, but it's also a rallying cry for us. One of the things we've done this year is we've instituted a callback option. And what that means is that the way we're engineering our call center now, if your wait time is going to be longer than 15 minutes, we will introduce into the phone, hey, we can schedule a callback option. So you can hang up, no longer listen to elevator music, and we'll call you back. These are the types of improvements. I know this happens in your everyday life when you're on any other call center in the retail industry and otherwise, banking industry. We have some catching up to do. But because we have funding, we can make these investments, and these are really helpful to taxpayers because now, if they've got a baby crying or something, they can hang up and get a callback option.
Thank you, and I yield back.